For thousands of years, ships have been the absolute engine of human exploration, of trade, and of conquest. They are arguably the single most important technology connecting our entire world. Okay, let's dive into this incredible 6,000-year journey of innovation.
You know, it's really a story of non-stop problem solving. It's about humanity mastering the immense challenges of the sea, one breakthrough at a time. So, the big question is, how on earth did we get from just floating on logs to building literal floating cities?
And this really puts the scale of that journey into perspective, doesn't it? On the left, you've got a simple raft, humanity's first very tentative step out onto the water. And on the right, a modern cruise ship, a floating city. The technological jump between these two is, well, it's just staggering.
So where does our story begin? Well, not on the big, scary open ocean. Nope. It starts much closer to home, on the calm waters of rivers and coastlines. This is where those first crucial breakthroughs really happened. Let's rewind the clock. Way back around 4000 BC, you've got the ancient Egyptians using reed boats with sails to get up and down the Nile. By 2500 BC, they've leveled up, building wooden ships tough enough for the open sea. Then come the Phoenicians, these master traders with their powerful galleys. And of course, by 1000 AD, you have the Vikings, raiding and exploring all over the place in their iconic longboats. You see, each step builds on the last one. Now, one of the most ingenious things about these early ships was how they were built. It was a method called shell-first construction. And think about this. They built the watertight outer skin of the ship first, fastening all the planks together. Only after that was done would they add the internal ribs to give it strength. It's pretty much the opposite of how we build many wooden boats today, and it's just a huge testament to their incredible skill.
All right, this brings us to the era that truly unlocked the globe, the age of exploration. This is where things get really exciting, because you have all these different technologies and building traditions that start to collide and create something, well, something revolutionary.
So by the late Middle Ages, you basically had two competing ways to build a ship in Europe. Up in the north, you had the Viking legacy of clinker building, with those overlapping planks that made for a lighter ship. But down in the Mediterranean, they were doing something called carvel construction, where planks were laid smooth, edge to edge, on a frame that was built first. This made a way stronger hull, which meant you could build much bigger ships.
And this diagram shows that difference perfectly. Just look at B, the clinker method. See how the planks overlap? Now look at A, the carvel method. It's a smooth, strong surface. The fusion of these two ideas is what's going to change everything.
So, three key things came together to make crossing oceans possible. First, the stern rudder, which finally gave sailors real control over these bigger ships. Second, the triangular lateen sail. This was huge because it let them sail against the wind. And finally, you get these awesome new hybrid ships, the caravel and the carrack, which combine the strength of Carve hulls with these new sails. All of a sudden, crossing an ocean wasn't just a possibility, it was repeatable. You know, for thousands of years, ship evolution was gradual, pretty slow. But then the 19th century comes along, and a new technology arrives that just changes everything, almost overnight. This is the end of the age of sail.
And the pace of change here is just breathtaking. In 1807, Robert Fulton's Clermont proves that steam can work commercially. Just 15 years later, we get the first iron steamship. Then in 1836, the screw propeller gets perfected, making things way more efficient. And by 1843, you have the SS Great Britain, a massive iron-hulled, screw-propelled liner. The modern ship, right there, is born.
And this was the result. Ships were no longer at the mercy of the wind. These are steel-hulled warships, powered by massive steam engines, able to project power anywhere in the world. This leap from wood and sail to steel and steam completely redefined what was possible, especially in warfare.
But the innovation, of course, didn't stop there. Take a look at this ship, the Turbinia. In 1897, it showed up with a revolutionary new steam turbine engine that made it the fastest thing on the water, period. This one ship basically made older steam engines obsolete overnight and really set the stage for the powerful ships of the 20th century.
This leads us right into the next great leap. And honestly, this is the one that created the interconnected global economy that we all live in today.
The next revolution was built on an idea that seems so simple it's almost funny: containerization. Before the 1950s, loading a ship was just slow, painstaking manual labor. But by putting everything into standardized steel boxes, you could move cargo seamlessly from a ship to a train to a truck. This single innovation absolutely supercharged global trade. And the impact, it's just immense. Today, over 80% of all global trade travels by sea, and most of that is inside those standard containers. Our entire modern world is quite literally built on the back of this system.
And it's not just container ships either. The modern fleet is incredibly diverse and specialized. We have gigantic tankers for oil and gas, massive passenger vessels that are basically resorts at sea, super technical ships for offshore energy, and even these wild heavy lift ships that can carry other ships on their backs.
Which brings us right up to today and the next great revolution. This one is being driven by data, by artificial intelligence, and by the really urgent need for a greener planet.
The next generation of ships is already taking shape. I'm talking about AI-piloted autonomous vessels. We have digital twins. These are virtual models that monitor the real ship's health second by second. We're seeing a huge shift to cleaner fuels like hydrogen and ammonia. And in a beautiful, poetic twist, high-tech sails are actually making a comeback to help with propulsion and save fuel.
This ship right here is a perfect example of that future in action. It's an LNG tanker, powered by liquefied natural gas, a much cleaner alternative to old-school marine fuel. This isn't just a drawing board idea. The green transition is happening on the water, right now. When you step back and look at it all, this whole journey is just a story of incredible ingenuity. It's a 6,000-year-long battle against the fundamental forces of nature, things like drag and waves, and just the sheer vastness of the ocean, and our relentless drive to overcome all of it.
So that leaves us with a final question to think about. We've gone from reeds to AI, from simple oars to alternative fuels. As our ships become intelligent, data-driven, green partners in global trade, what do you think the next great leap will be in this incredible 6,000-year journey across the water?